Welcome back to another episode of Henry TV. I am your host, 22 Plingster, and in front of me I have a new rifle that was put out by Henry Repeating Arms in 2017. In 2017, Henry introduced a rifle and a carbine chambered in the .327 Federal Magnum. The carbine sports a 16.5-inch barrel and has a large loop handle. The rifle has a 20-inch barrel and has a standard loop. You may not be familiar with the .327 Federal Magnum load. It's actually not a Magnum load, it's actually considered a Super Magnum. Let me give you a brief rundown of the history how the .327 Federal Magnum came about. In 1878, the .32 Smith & Wesson cartridge was introduced. Shortly thereafter, in 1896, the .32 Smith & Wesson Long was introduced. Now with a .32 Smith & Wesson Long, you are able to get a little bit more velocity and a little bit more pressure out of each cartridge compared to that of the .32 Smith & Wesson. Fast forward to 1984, almost 100 years later, the .32 H&R Magnum was born. Now the .32 H&R Magnum was simply just a .32 Smith & Wesson Long case lengthened just a hair to get you more velocity and more pressure. In 2007, Ruger went to Federal Premium and asked them to build a .327 Magnum round. In 2008, the .327 Magnum was born. The need for the .327 Magnum was simple. A lot of people carried a .357 small revolver around with them. Now, in those small revolvers, you're only allowed to put 5 rounds into the cylinder. But with the smaller case of the .327 Federal Magnum, you are allowed to put 6 rounds into the same size revolver. Switching from the .357 to the .327 Federal Magnum, you didn't lose a lot. Matter of fact, you didn't lose any velocity. The average velocity of the .327 Federal Magnum goes anywhere from 1,400 to 1,600 feet per second. Basically the same velocities of that of a .357. However, usually you do have to fire a smaller grain bullet such as an 80, 90, 100, or even 115 grain bullet, but still, you're not sacrificing much switching from the .357 to the .327 Federal Magnum. Now with a .357 Magnum, you're only allowed to put 5 rounds into that cylinder. Now with a .327 Federal Magnum, you can put 6 rounds in the same size revolver. You won't lose much, and actually, the recoil is about 25% less. Now that I have given you a small history of why the .327 Federal Magnum came on the market, let's get to my favorite part of the video. Let's go outside and do some shooting. Now that we have discussed the .327 Federal Magnum, let's get to my favorite part of the video. Let's do some shooting. Let's go over at 100 yards. Shot right under it. Hit it. Click. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is the carbine model. The carbine model has the large loop and also sports the 16.5-inch barrel. Both the rifle and the carbine have the walnut stocks with the nice checkering on them, and they both have the swivel studs. Now, this particular model holds 9 rounds, and I have some more targets down there. All right, let's start right there with that 2-liter. Yeah. All right, up close here. It just vaporized that thing. All right, let's go 100 yards again. Hit. Hit. Went high on that one. All right. That little 6-inch plate is hard to see. I think that was my last one. Yep, it was my last one. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions on the rifle or the carbine chambered in the .327 Federal Magnum, make sure you go over to Henry's Facebook page and ask them there, or ask them in the comments below. And just remember, if it's not made in America, it's not going to be made at all. We at Henry want to thank you for watching another episode of Henry TV. If you want to support the channel, make sure you click this button right here and subscribe. If you want to know more about our firearms or products, make sure you click this button right here. Again, thanks for watching.